Peace and blessings to all friends. May the mercy and abundance of the divine be upon all of humanity. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. For some time now, we have been sharing knowledge related to melamet and the science of unity through our YouTube channel, with the approval of our master, Sayyid Mustafa Altun. At this point, I feel the need to express something because, from time to time, some friends ask, "Melamet is a secret. Why do you reveal yourselves? Or what do you have against the fraternities?" Logically, sometimes even criticizing our approach. Feeling the necessity to clarify this, I would like to address these concerns. Indeed, melamet is a path of divine secrecy. So, the question arises, why is it being revealed now? When I first encountered melamet in 2009, I searched for "What is melamet?" on Google, and the result came back as "No matches found." However, today, the teachings of melamet are accessible to the world. Why has this happened? Because the requirements of the present era necessitate it. For the past 1,000 years and beyond, melamet seekers have concealed themselves from the public, striving to remain close to the divine. Unlike the fraternities, they did not engage in efforts to gather followers, nor did they seek recognition. They were truly a select group of individuals who yearned for Allah with pure love. However, today, with the spiritual authority of Sayyid Mustafa Altun, the founder of the fourth cycle of melamet, the way of melamet has been opened to the world out of mercy for humanity. Why? Because across the entire world, there is a profound religious degeneration. Despite a global population exceeding 8 billion, the materialism that emerged from mercantilism in the 16th and 17th centuries, followed by ruthless capitalism, liberalism, and similar ideologies, has led to a situation where the clergy in various religious traditions have become instruments of exploitation rather than sources of true spiritual fulfillment. As a result, humanity has become increasingly distant from genuine spiritual nourishment. When we observe the world today, particularly in the West, Europe, America, and North America, statistics reveal that 40% or even 50% of the population in some regions is turning away from institutionalized religion. Many individuals, having perceived contradictions within religious teachings, are now gravitating toward atheism, deism, or alternative spiritual movements. This phenomenon is unfolding before our very eyes. Yet, this is not the essence of reality. The fundamental truth is that the core of religious teachings was originally designed to guide humanity toward its purpose of creation and to fill the deep spiritual void within. However, the issue lies in the fact that the essence of these teachings has been completely abandoned. This spiritual distortion is not only present within religious institutions, but also within many fraternities that claim to be at the heart of spiritual practice. Take, for instance, the so-called starvation fraternity, which recently made headlines. 350 people lost their lives through extreme fasting. Such occurrences reflect a deviation that disrupts the divine balance. People are searching for truth, but they cannot find it. The same reality exists in Turkey. We all witness it. Many so-called fraternities have lost their essence and have become part of the same distorted system. Of course, we differentiate between the true and false fraternities. Those who genuinely guide people toward Allah, who uphold the path of truth, are exempt from this criticism. However, we do not condone those fraternities that have become corporate-like entities, exploiting people and seeking to bind them to themselves, rather than drawing them closer to Allah. At the same time, we differentiate between these exploitative structures and the true, uncorrupted spiritual paths such as Qadiriyya, Rifa'iyya, Helvetia, and Naqshbandiya, which are genuinely striving for truth and reality. And indeed, the ultimate destination for those walking the path of truth is melamet. Why? Because it is above them all. How? The greatest distinction of melamet is that its teachers do not bind followers to themselves. In melamet, there is no spiritual connection to a sheikh or master as seen in other fraternities. Yes, there is a spiritual connection, but unlike in other traditions, the melamet seeker directs it solely to Allah. Thus, in this sense, melamet stands far beyond the revealed religion and fraternity schools. On the other hand, the spiritual void I mentioned earlier must inevitably be filled, because Allah's divine system does not allow for emptiness. However, since many fraternities and the clergy who sustain themselves through them have become riddled with contradictions and misguidance, we now witness reactionary movements emerging in response. For instance, there is a group known as the energy healers. They exploit concepts from Eastern mysticism, esotericism, and even psychological manipulation, leading people into deception. Likewise, with the advancement of science, especially quantum mechanics, various other pseudo-spiritual movements have emerged. Quantum consciousness, attraction fields, resonance, vibrations, and so on. Many systems, rituals, and so-called schools of thought are being presented to people as solutions to fill the spiritual void that has emerged in modern times. Although these movements claim to provide meaning and fulfillment, they borrow superficial concepts from the science of truth without truly understanding them, and ultimately exploit people financially. Now, I am not saying that these paths offer absolutely no benefit at all. People seek them out, pay their money, and for a few months, they may feel a temporary sense of relief, perhaps a fleeting egoic satisfaction, thinking, "Look, I am making an effort, I am doing something." However, in the end, they often find themselves in a worse state than where they started. And I invite those who follow these so-called teachings to look at their own so-called masters with a discerning eye. What is their state? What has their practice truly brought them? Moreover, I want to draw humanity's attention to one crucial point. These teachings do not actually offer solutions to people. They simply say, think positively, feel good, raise your vibration. All right, but how? How am I supposed to do that? I can't just think positively. I can't just feel good at will. And yet, you claim you can bring me peace. You tell me, just think good thoughts, and then you leave me stranded. But I can't think good thoughts, so what then? How do I truly resolve this? This is precisely where one of the greatest distinctions of melamet becomes evident. A melamet guide does not simply tell you, do this, do that. Melamet takes you directly to the solution, not by giving you answers that leave you stranded, but by showing you how to find the answer within yourself. Truly, it is in the remembrance of Allah that hearts find peace. Quran 13:28. Melamet takes you to the remembrance of Allah. They do not just give you a fish, they teach you how to fish. And that is why melamet is the peak of the path of truth. It is the true way that leads to salvation, peace, and ultimate unity with the divine. Therefore, we strive to introduce melamet to those who truly seek divine love and wish to reach Allah with sincerity. Some people often say, no one should come between a servant and Allah, and our guides have always clarified this and will continue to do so. Indeed, nothing can come between a servant and God, because there is no between to begin with. Has God not said in the Quran, "We are closer to them than their jugular vein"? Quran 50:16. So where is this gap that someone could enter? If anyone wants to get between God and the servant, let them try. It is simply impossible. Perfect guide of melamet never stands between a servant and their Lord. However, they help seekers move past unnecessary distractions, guiding them to self-knowledge and divine recognition without delay. For those who truly wish to know themselves and their Lord, the only step left is to join this assembly of melamet. Once again, we send our sincere love and greetings to all our companions. May the peace and blessings of God be upon you.